Aloha. Woo. All right. Stones in Orlando. Saw them there last week. Great show. Real music by real people, as far as we can tell. But just music was solid all night. But let's see, they opened with Start Me Up. And but the best two tunes, well, it was good all night. But my favorite two that they played were, they did, the second tune was Get Off My Cloud, which was awesome. Love it. One of my favorites. And then they did It's Only Rock and Roll. And She's a Rainbow came in there too. That was another night. They did that. They have that fan vote, and they only give you 4 songs. I don't even know where to find that because I was unable to place my vote because it was She's a Rainbow and Rocks Off. I would have preferred Rocks Off would have been what I voted for. Greatest intro to a record ever, Exile on Main Street. But and then it was like 2 tunes from like Steel Wheels or something, like Sad, 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 and I'm like, would somebody vote for that? They're not horrible, but those songs wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for those other ones. But so She's a Rainbow was good. Then they did Dead Flowers, Tyler Childers. He opened up. He was pretty good. And he came out and did that one with him. Just a solid show, you know. Keith did the new tune. Straight, what the hell is the name of it? I don't know, in Little TNA. That was nice. She's my little rock and roll. I think he plays it in standard tuning, actually. No capo. One of the few songs Keith plays without a capo on it. It was nice. Good one. Straight to the Point or something like that. The new tune, the new song that Keith does on the new Stones album. But I'm going to do one by their rivals, the Beatles. And just for those of you who care about such things, you know, the way back when it was always like the Beatles were the clean-cut guys that you'd want your daughter to meet. The Stones were the ones that would beat you up if they met you in an alley. You didn't want your daughter to date. And in reality, the Stones were all kind of middle-class kids, and the Beatles all grew up pretty poor. Not that any of them were particularly rough guys. So, here we go. That boy took my love away, though he'll regret it someday. This boy wants you back again. That boy isn't good for you. Though he may want you to. This boy wants you back again. Oh, and this boy would be happy just to love you. Oh, but my, that boy won't be happy until he's seen you cry. This boy wouldn't mind the pain, would always feel the same if this boy gets you back again. Great doing a tune solo that had such wonderful harmony on the original. Great tune though. I just love, I don't know. I know I can't sing as well as Paul McCartney or John Lennon. But it's just real fun hitting those, just being able to let it go on those middle parts. Just the wonderful simplicity of that, yet seems to me a very original song as well. Just love it. Love that early Beatles, you know. And the best part about the Beatles, you know, just the obvious stuff, the progression from that first album, which is fucking gold. Still probably the best Beatles album, you know. We all love all the Beatles for the most part. That first album, the rawness, everything, you know, from I Saw Her Standing There, probably just one of those songs. That's one of those songs, I think when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I remember. These fucking guys are great, and the song's great. And it just gets lost in all the lists and stuff. And I think it's right up there. The top 5 fucking tune. I Saw Her Standing There. But, you know, Anna, Twist and Shout. I mean, just every song on there. It's just, and it's like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and 14 songs, and bam. That was the beauty. I remember back when CDs came out. I was in high school. It was like 85, 86, 87. First CD I ever bought. In Foxborough, Massachusetts. I think it was called, I don't think it was Good Vibrations. But anyway, it was Paul McCartney, Wings. But the section, it was just like a section like that, maybe 2 rows in the record store, you know? And now it's back to that. I'll still take CDs though. But it was just, but then when they put the Beatles CDs out, they put out the British versions, because if those of you don't know, back in the 60s, up till about 67, I think, in Britain, the singles didn't appear on the album. So for instance, She Loves You was not on an album. It was just a single, you know? And I Want to Hold Your Hand, those only came out as singles. And the song I just did, That Boy, I think, was the B-side to one of those. I didn't research that part, but you know, so that was just a B-side, and everything they did was just great, you know, and the simplicity, and then just the progression up to, you know, you get into I Feel Fine, I Am the Walrus, to Revolution, you know, to I Got a Feeling, you know, just which kind of I Got a Feeling kind of brought it back to the original, which was the idea of the whole Let It Be thing. But just awesome. Stones as well. You know, just they're the bedrock of my rock and bed. You know, Stones, Beatles, Bob Dylan, and the Grateful Dead. So the 4 corners that I put my mattress on. With a whole bunch of people hanging out on there. I could just start playing and play a long time, believe it or not. Just to know most of the words to the songs, and well, I'm talking, I wonder if it's measurable. But I'm thinking if I could play, probably start, I'm talking hours. I know a lot of songs, and the words to most of them, without looking. You give me the ability to have the words there, and I could do probably double that. But enough about me. I just love it so. And when you start, it's easy to just keep going. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And that's really all that matters. Makes me feel good. I hope it's entertaining. I hope it is good and listenable. But more importantly, just go back and hopefully listen to those tunes and remember how great they are, you know? And for some of you, they may be new to you. You know, those songs like a song like Yes It Is, another Beatles B-side. Very similar to that, boy, actually. Probably very, but you wouldn't know about that shit. And when you hear that, you'll just be like, it doesn't matter whether it's groundbreaking or anything else. You're just like, this is wonderful. And you're like, how come why don't I know about this, you know? And I'm sorry, there aren't too many people doing anything today that you're going to say that about. Just about any song you put on by the group is going to be like, I'll listen to that again, happily. You know, just, and they used to put out like two albums a year. I think there might have been a few where there was almost 3. But in addition to singles, you know, which were separate. So, and they were able to do it, man, you know? Oh, they were done by the time, you know, 10 years roughly, you know? Just absolutely wonderful. Love it. Can't recommend them enough if you've never heard of them. The Beatles with an A. So, yeah, you know, other than that, it feels like things are ramping up a little bit if you're at all into what's going on in our world. And I am. You know, a lot of us have become politically aware over the last 10 years, I guess, especially since the that thingy there and stuff, and I just think it's important. I mean, you know, it really, in 1985, when I started buying CDs in 86, I don't know that you did need to pay too much attention. Everything was, there was just, you know, we had the USSR was the clear enemy, and Congress, and everything was balanced so that not much happened, you know, other than, and now it's just, it's a problem. And you know what I think brought us to where we are as much as anything? And I think this is legit, and if you make yourself a cup of tea and think this over, that drinking became unacceptable if you're really in society. But think about it. Back in the 70s, if you remember Tip O'Neill, I mean, he had it was like Bozo the Clown, his nose, which you get from, but guys from the opposite sides would get together and drink and learn about their families and realize they weren't too far apart on stuff. Or just generally make concessions and just get to know each other and genuinely liked each other. And we're also mature enough to maybe battle it out on the floor and then still be like, let's go get a drink. And now you can't do that. All they have is just, we need to win and stay in power. And unfortunately, one side, I agree that neither side is all that great, but one side, unfortunately, is a little more morally and ethically bound or something. And what that essentially, I feel, is reflected in the fact that they accept the losing, that it's, oh well, we gave it our best shot, and the other side's clearly cheating. And anybody with common sense and who's honest with themselves knows that's true. You know, I would highly recommend, I just watched, it was like 3 hours long, so you watch parts of it, but Tucker Carlson, who a lot of you, there's like, I maybe get about 25 views, but he does an interview with a gentleman named Vincent Elliott. Yeah, I think that's it. Awesome. One of those ones, it went on for 3 hours, and it was getting a little crazy by the end, but it was so interesting I couldn't stop watching. And he's just basically, I don't know, check it out. I don't like to set anything up or, you know, shit like that. I just highly recommend it. I cannot highly recommend it enough. I cannot. It was kind of a life-changing, and it's nothing, it's, some of it, a lot of it's mind-blowing, but it's not on any topics that you're not aware of. I think anybody who's curious, intellectually curious, and cares about what's going on in the world outside their own house would find this fascinating and just give you things to think about. So I can't recommend it enough. Again, just go to Tucker Carlson and Vincent Ellison Elliott, or Elliott Ellis. Damn it, I'm sad that I can't remember that, because it's a guy's name and I like to be respectful, and he was just well worth listening to. Awesome. So that's about it. I think that's try and limit that without getting too all over the place. So thanks for staying to this point if you have, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Got to whore a little bit there at the end, you know. So aloha. See that? I think being in Orlando, I think they subtly, would you not say ear, tip of nose? You know, they try and do it for the area. I got one when they did Tampa. I saw them like 3 years ago, and they had the beach more or less. And then I think that may be a subtle Mickey Mouse there. I like it. I wish they'd go with a lighter color though, because it gets hotter than hell here in Florida. Black just attracts the sun. Over and out.